Combinations approved for use outside the trial.
I think we'll be the last generation of physicians to see classical cystic fibrosis.
Jordan Bissell, 9 News.
Still plenty to come on 9 News. Ahead we'll give you a never-before-seen view of the spectacular Ningaloo Reef. But first, here's Joshua Daw with sport. And Josh, Richmond are eyeing off even more silverware already.
Incredibly, Alice, it really is the dawn of a new era at Tigerland. The dust is only settling, but already they're talking dynasties as the losing skipper defends his giant fitness gamble. And the Wallabies World Cup hopes hit a major snag. Tigers captain Trent Cotchin admits he's still coming to terms with their latest achievement. Cotchin and his premiership teammates sharing the spoils with the Richmond faithful this afternoon, declaring they're committed to creating a dynasty.
Standing in front of the Tiger Army, medals around their neck, cup in hand. A feeling these Richmond greats will never forget.
I can't believe it, it's so surreal.
And the smell might hang around for a while too.
Yeah, no, I haven't washed it.
Are you going to wash it?
Nah, I haven't washed it 2017. It's still hanging up in my closet, so this will just go next to it, I think.
For two-time premiership captain Trent Cotchin, it's been a weird night as his new title sinks in.
I sort of felt like I had quiet moments all night last night, but I was in the weirdest space, so yeah, I don't think I've fully come to terms with it.
And there are some tasting true victory for the very first time.
The last 8 years I've looked on with a bit of envy to be able to play off in the grand final and get that opportunity to play on the biggest stage, and to win is just amazing.
Marlon Pickett in prison 10 years ago. Now he'll be a life member of Richmond Football Club after just one spectacular game.
Still trying to get my head around it. I just felt calm out there playing footy.
Round one next year, I assume will be against the Blues. It might be 85,000 at the G, and you'll probably think that's pretty boring.
The skipper planning to share more moments just like this.
We are about creating a culture that goes beyond even our years here at the footy club, and that's what I love most about our group, is that's the key focus for us, is just creating an environment that we're really proud of.
Brandon Ellis savouring his final moments as a Tiger before heading to the Gold Coast on a long-term deal. Keziah Dawn, 9 News.
Meanwhile, GWS captain Phil Davis is holding no regrets about declaring himself fit for the grand final. Needing a late test to prove he could cope with a raft of injuries, Davis was still well beaten by Jack Riewoldt, but is offering no excuses for his poor performance, promising the Giants will hit back harder next season.
You know, the hardest thing was I knew I had to make a decision the other day at some point that I didn't want to let my teammates down and let them down by either choosing not to play when I thought I could play or choosing to play when I couldn't perform. And at the end of the day, I'm very comfortable with the decision I made, and I wish I could have led the boys better.
Veteran Heath Shaw has agreed to play on in 2020, with the club offering him a new one-year deal. The Wallabies have fallen narrowly short of a remarkable World Cup comeback against Wales. After conceding the first 10 points and trailing by 15 at half-time of their second group game, Australia began to chip away at the Welsh margin, cutting their lead to as little as a point. But some late penalties sealed a historic 29-25 win.
Wales had broken a long drought. The last time they beat the Wallabies at a Rugby World Cup was 1987.
Meanwhile, Japan has produced a remarkable upset, stunning Ireland 19-12, and now a strong chance to reach the knockout stages for the very first time. Well, the Roosters are closing in on becoming the first team in 26 years to win back-to-back NRL premierships. Trent Robinson's men rolling Melbourne 14-6 to advance to the grand final in what could be Storm legend Cameron Smith's final game.
An intimate moment between a man and his mentor. Cooper Cronk and Craig Bellamy's bond still as strong as ever.
It's just about saying thank you and showing a bit of admiration for one another, because without Craig Bellamy, I'm not who I am today.
The sentiment of battle helping to seal over some old wounds. Cronk and Cameron Smith also sharing an embrace despite their apparent rift.
I respect Cameron Smith more than any other player in the game. Those words will stay between us two, but it was just about respect.
The victory over his former team extends Cronk's career for one more week. He'll have the chance to pull off the fairy tale finish in what will be a staggering 9th grand final in 16 seasons.
This week isn't about me. I will not make it about me for a second of time. It's about the Roosters the football club, the organisation, the people, and I'll play my bit and hopefully making them have a smile on their face at the end of the year.
He'll be hoping to have his halves partner by his side. Luke Keary charged by the judiciary for a high shot but free to play, as long as he can get over an ankle injury.
Just that last 5 minutes, I just came down a bit funny on it, and yeah, probably I knew it was going to be sore at the end there, but to be honest, I didn't feel it too much at all through the game. I don't know if it looked.
You're not worried about it?
No.
Cameron Smith making the shock suggestion he could retire before next season.
Family's getting a little bit older now with the 3 kids they're growing up. We've got a lot of things on, so yeah, a lot of stuff to weigh up, mate. I don't know. Do you need help with that broodmare business or what? I'll come down and be your stable hand.
Jake Duke, 9 News.
A blistering century from Beth Mooney has guided Australia to a comfortable victory in the first of 3 T20s against Sri Lanka. The Aussies posting a monster total of 217, their highest 20-over score on home soil.
Beth Mooney is in business.
Shot, what a beautiful shot.
Finding the boundary 20 times on her way to 113 from just 61 balls. Not content with her batting efforts.
Goes and that's out.
Mooney then crafted this special bit of fielding as Sri Lanka fell 41 runs short. A forgotten West Aussie has stunned Caulfield.
Blackheart bar just in front of Homesman. Previous winners find it out. Blackheart bar turns back the clock. What a marvel.
Back from retirement, Lindsay Smith's 9-year-old Blackheart Bart taking out the Group 1 Underwood Stakes at 100-1, almost 950 days since his last win.
Just I won a golden slipper and a Caulfield Cup and I never looked like getting teary and I'm nearly in tears.
While Damien Oliver scored the Pearce brothers a surprise winner, guiding home $61 outsider Pushin' Shapes in race 3. Alex Demonor is closing in on a 3rd career title.
A winner to finish a wonderful night's work for the young Aussie.
Defeating Roberto Batista Agut to progress to tonight's final of the Zhuhai Championships. A horror night for Premier League goalkeepers.
Oh, Dean Henderson has spilt it.
Sheffield United's gift allowing Liverpool to maintain their unbeaten run, while Tottenham's Hugo Lloris got a bit too fancy.
Well, Lloris in trouble. And Ings has bundled the ball in.
Harry Kane sparing his blushes to rescue a 2-1 victory against Southampton, while Chelsea moves back into the top 6 with a 2-0 win over Brighton.
So, Alice, the season may be done on field, but there is still plenty of news to come. Trade week just a week away, and both the Dockers and Eagles are going to be very heavily involved.
Right, okay. And we will have a full detailed report on that when it begins.
Plenty of information during the week. Place you can trust right here.
Right, thank you, Josh. See you soon. They fled Islamic State terrorists. Now these refugees are building new lives.